Hollywood shocking news. Jamie Dornan had a horrific accident. Malibu in the fall is often as gentle as a dream. The night sea is calm, the wind carries the scent of salt, and on the coastal road, the yellow lights are like thin silk threads sewn across the sky. Jamie Dornan drives a silver-gray Aston Martin, his favorite car, a gift he gave himself after the emotional end of his last film. He is in no hurry. There is no hurry. The interview ends sooner than expected. Dakota Johnson sends him a brief text, "If you're still awake, stop by. I just opened a bottle of wine." He smiles softly, puts the phone on the passenger seat. Her voice still rings in his head, warm, vague, something endless. Their friendship after 50 Shades has lasted more than a decade, a bond that no one can name. On the radio, James Bay's "Let It Go" plays, gently interwoven with the sound of the waves. Everything was so calm that Jamie didn't notice the truck in front of him swerve. A flash of light, a metallic screech, then a thunderous crash. The Aston Martin spun 3 times before crashing to the curb. The airbags deployed, glass flying like a blizzard. The smell of smoke, gasoline, and the distant ocean mingled in a terrible cacophony, as if the world were on fire. Jamie struggled to open his eyes. Blood ran down his forehead. Pain shot through his chest. He reached for his phone, but it flew out the shattered window. In that moment, he thought of Dakota. Her smile, the way she tilted her head when she teased him, the way she touched his shoulder in interviews, lightly as if it were nothing more, but to him, it was more than anything. And then the night swallowed him. Text at 1 a.m. In Los Angeles, Dakota Johnson was sitting on the sofa, barefoot, wearing an oversized gray sweater. 2 glasses of wine were on the table, one still full. She looked at the clock, 12:57 a.m. She was about to text, "Are you on your way?" when her phone rang. The message wasn't from him. Accident on Pacific Coast Highway. A silver Aston Martin, suspected to be Jamie Dornan's. Dakota hung up the phone. All she could hear was a screech in her head. The world shrank to a blinding white point. Without hesitation, she grabbed her keys and dashed out of the house. Her Porsche roared into the night. A drizzle began to fall, as if the heavens knew something terrible was about to happen. On the radio, an urgent bulletin blared, "Major accident on Pacific Coast Highway. Hollywood actor believed to be involved, condition unknown." Dakota didn't hear the rest. She only saw the license plate number flash in her memory, A73JM. That was it. When she got there, the police had cordoned off. The ambulance lights were flashing. Shards of metal littered the road like falling meteors. She rushed forward, ignoring the warnings. "Jamie! Where is Jamie?" A rescue worker turned around and recognized her. "Miss Johnson, please stay back. We're trying to get him out of the car." Dakota looked through the crack in the broken window. He was lying there, half buried in the metal, blood staining his white shirt. But his eyes were still open, weak, hazy, and when he saw her, his lips moved. "Dakota!" She burst into tears. All the cameras were on him, but in that moment, no one cared about fame, movies, rumors. There were only 2 people. In the middle of the night, between life and death, Dakota took his hand through the broken glass, shaking, "I'm here, Jamie. Can you hear me? Don't close your eyes. Please, don't." He nodded slightly, then passed out. The first sound Dakota heard in the hospital was the ventilator. The steady, beep, beep, beat, like her heartbeat trying to hold on. Jamie lay on the emergency bed, her face pale, one cheek swollen, a white bandage wrapped around her head. Her brown hair was messy, the bloodstains had been cleaned up, but the cold smell of antiseptic filled the room. The doctor came out, his voice stern but still gentle. We did emergency surgery. He has broken ribs, a minor head injury, and lost a lot of blood. But fortunately, there was no serious brain damage. Dakota nodded, her eyes still red. Will he wake up? Yes, maybe in a few hours. She could stay, but don't let him talk too much when he wakes up. She sat down by the bed, her hand gently touching his. It was cold, but still alive. Outside the window, dawn was starting to creep through the curtains. The dim light fell on his face, making the familiar features look both fragile and strange. Dakota bowed her head, her voice trembling slightly. You always say you're immortal in movies, but in real life, do you know how scared I was, Jamie? A tear fell onto his hand. And as if by magic, those fingers moved slightly. She looked up, he opened his eyes. His gaze was hazy, a mixture of confusion and reality. But when he saw her, he smiled weakly. Are you still here? She laughed through her tears. Where did you think I was? You almost killed me. He breathed softly, each breath seemed to tear his chest. I don't remember, I only remember the lights, and your voice. She squeezed his hand tighter. You're lucky, but the car isn't. A moment of silence. Only the sound of the ventilator and the rain falling on the porch. Then Jamie spoke softly, his voice weak but clear. Do you know what the first thing I thought when the car flipped? What? He thought. I didn't get to tell her that. He paused, eyes closed, exhausted. The sentence broke off mid-sentence. Dakota held his hand, her heart stopping. She sat beside him all morning, remembering every moment, the 16-hour shoots, the kissing scenes that were artistic, but left them both afraid to look at each other afterward, the laughs backstage, and the silences, when she knew they understood each other better than words. When the world woke, the news exploded like a storm. From TMZ to CNN, from Twitter to Instagram, all mentioned the same name, Jamie Dornan. The paparazzi crowded outside the hospital. Photos of Dakota hugging him in front of the ambulance were all over the internet within hours. Her agent kept calling, Dakota, you need to leave right now. The media is going crazy. They say you're the secret lover, they're even making up a real-life love story. She replied softly, her eyes still not leaving Jamie. Let them talk, I don't care. He needs me here. On the bed next to her, Jamie began to wake up. The doctor advised him to rest, but he insisted on talking. Dakota sat opposite, half smiling, half worried. You know you just made Hollywood crazy, right? He curled his lips. This is the first time I've been in the news for anything other than a movie. It feels strange. It's not fun, Jamie. He looked deep into her eyes, his voice dropping. Dakota, if I don't survive that night, I just want you to know one thing. Don't say that. No. Listen to me. She was silent. He continued. I always thought we were just friends. But when I saw the lights go off and the world disappear, the only thing I thought about was you. Not my wife, not the movies, not my career. Just you. Dakota froze. The words were like another collision, no blood, no metal, but so deep and real that it made her choke. You shouldn't say that, she whispered. I just got out of surgery, my mind is still hazy. Jamie smiled, his eyes clearer than ever. I know what I'm saying. She turned away, hiding her wet eyes. I'm messing everything up, maybe, he replied softly, but this accident made me realize, I don't want to let what I left unsaid be forever. Dakota didn't answer. Outside the window, sunlight filtered through the gray clouds. The sound of waves lapping in the distance. A strange peace fell over them, fragile but real.